Hi Aquarius, welcome to your monthly reading for April. I am Morgane. If we already know each other, thank you for coming back. If you happened to tune in, welcome. Sometimes I'm harsh on you, sometimes I'm super kind to you. Either way, you take it with such dignity. So I'm like, Aquarius can take it. You know, like I do to Capricorns, because they can take it. And that's not always fair. I said the same thing to Capricorns, but it's known that Capricorns are strong, therefore people sometimes take them for granted and lay their issues on them. Is it known about the Aquarian? You give a good facade of I can handle it, I'm strong, but you are so much more sensitive than you show. So because you are so honorable, if someone lays their problem on you, you listen, you allow them, you help, you generate energy for them sometimes. But like the Pisces, you take that in. You don't always know how to put up the walls, the defenses. It's not true that you're only in the mind. You are highly spiritual, thus operating from the heart. But because you're also of the mind and you're very spiritual and very honorable, you don't want to make the person in front of you feel guilty about leaning on you. So you portray to be, you know, unbreakable. But you are breakable. You look like iron, but you're porcelain. And I'm not saying it with God any disrespect. On the contrary, it's to show how gentle you can be. First card coming up, the World. I need another card. Maybe now you're finally tapping in to knowing what and who you are and what you're worth. Maybe some of you are just like, I'm just rising above it. I don't care. People know that I'm in pain. Thank you. People don't know that I'm in pain. I get you. Whatever. I'm okay. The World is an arcana, a major arcana, a high advisor card. So it doesn't show that it needs. It has the facade of I don't need, right? It doesn't show that it needs. I feel confusion with your energy. I meditated on it before I started this video, and I feel like you guys are ranging on the scale between deep knowing of who and what you are and where you stand versus so much confusion and like, wait, do I know? What am I? It's like you are analyzing your state of mind over philosophical. And then you trust yourself, and then you doubt yourself, and you trust yourself, and then you doubt yourself, and it's this endless cycle of I'm above or am I below? Am I apart or am I separate? Who? And you're trying to figure out one thing that you are right now, whether who you are, whether what is your state of mind. I don't know if you should, Aquarius, because I think because you're so sensitive to different alignment of the planets and the changes of the energy and the spiritual growth and of the consciousness, of the collective consciousness. People are going from you know, being lost in the collective subconscious into finding it, finding the connections, finding the resonance, finding the serendipity, finding, you know, the reason. And you are like, you are always there, but now other people are starting to kind of join the ride, and you're like, am I still special? Am I still seeing things differently, or am I just one of the crowd right now? And you have so many questions in your head. The questions that I just mentioned 2 minutes ago, what I said about whether am I secured in my place or am I lost? Why are you so confused? You're normally so comfortable in the philosophical confusion where everybody else is lost. You're comfortable, and now suddenly it feels like everybody is aware and they're finding and they're searching and they're finding. You're like, wait, but and for the first time you're feeling what most people are feeling in the search. Second card, 9 of Cups, 4 of Cups. Okay, so this is what it is. Everything is great. You see it? You are on top of the world on the surface. You're getting what you always wanted, but that makes you think. Is it real? Am I worth it? What is my place in it? What is the place of the world in it? Should I be humble? Should I be cocky? Just be, Aquarius. Don't overthink it. Things are going great. You are successful. You are fulfilling your wishes. Don't overanalyze it. Don't dig into philosophy. You're not, you know, you're not evil for enjoying the fruits of your work, and you are not cocky. You are fine. It's like your range is also another range that you're on. It's between feeling really, really secured in your own skin and knowing that you're awesome versus trying to be very humble about it and philosophical, which is, don't get me wrong, it's great to have proportions and to not let yourself overfly or be arrogant, God forbid, but you can also allow yourself, you know, joy and fulfillment and success are also a part, a very relevant, dignified part of the human condition. And if you're into analyzing the human condition and kind of finding balance on the wave, then you can also find the balance on the good and on the success. This does not make you over arrogant, but also on the other pole, like on the other side of the polarity, be careful to not go overboard. So understand where it's coming from. And there are Aquarians, the negative expression of the Aquarian, like every zodiac has. I think I spoke about it maybe in my first or my second video for Aquarians. It was either January or February. There are Aquarians with a negative expression that they're not really humble and that they're pretending to be humble. And there's something about you that is scared about being like that. So you're like over humbling yourself. But if you are that negative Aquarian that tends to be, you know, really arrogant on the inside and act modest on the outside, then maybe this is great. Maybe this is good. Maybe it's something that, you know, like you're supposed to be humbled right now. Find yourself on that scale. I know the problem I have is that I know that the negative Aquarian will be like, no, I'm the good Aquarian. I'm not worried about that. I'm really modest. And the good expression of the Aquarian, the one that is over modest all the time, will be like, am I the bad Aquarian? Right? Because stupid people never doubt themselves. It's the smart and the wise and the good that constantly doubt themselves. So they have less of a voice than those who never doubt themselves because they're so awesome. I am successful and I'm modest. No, you're not. The guy that is like, am I modest enough with all of this joy? Am I? You just ask yourself, if you pause and like, is it me? Most likely you're good. I hope I'm being clear. I don't like being vague and all over the place. It's just that your energy is a little bit all over the place. I'm sorry, Aquarius. Like, I admire you. I'm like one of your #1 fans. I have a lot of family members, good friends. My life has been filled with Aquarians. So please don't take this the wrong way. But so far there's a good start because at least this is just philosophical questions. On the surface, things look good. Success, wishes fulfilled, being in the right time, in the right place, being in your elements, flying above the world, being like, yo, I'm here, I'm doing my thing. It's good. Simultaneously, many of you are also meditating and going inward to make sure that you're not like too all over the place and too much enjoying yourself. Okay. What else, Aquarius? I wore these for you guys. I don't know why. I had a feeling you're going to like it. I had a feeling you're going to like my feathers. Aquarius, month of April. What else? Asking for benevolent guidance through the energies of the month of April for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I always recommend to watch your Venus as well because I think it really has a strong place on your map. But that's just me. You're like, yeah, well, tell me something I don't know. I know I'm like that. I know I tend to get over philosophical and doubt myself. Or to get over cocky and not doubt myself, depending on which Aquarius I am. I don't know. I know that. Tell me something I don't know. How can I tell you something you don't know, Aquarius? You always know it all. Even if you don't know it in your conscious, you know it in your subconscious. And somehow it rises, finds its way to rise into the surface. And then you act upon it, whether you know you've acted upon the right thing or not. Something inside of you always leads you in the right direction. Because you're Aquarius. Nine of Swords. And this is the polarity that I was talking about that we need to figure out. I have on the one hand 9 of Cups, and on the other, which is a beautiful card of fulfillment and wishes and joy. And then I have 9 of Swords. It's agony and what's the word? Loss. That's not the word I was looking for, but I'm filling out the space because I lost a word that I really want to use. Well, mourning. It's almost like you're mourning something. Either some of you, things are going really, really well and it just puts you in so much anxiety and fear of loss. Or there was some kind of a completion of a karmic cycle that I can't say it opened up a door for something great because you're not feeling it yet. You're still, it started with this, right? And then I got the 9 of Swords. And in the middle I have 4 of Cups, which can either be doubts when it comes with the 9 of Swords, or it can be meditating and, you know, a process of humbling yourself when it comes with the 9 of Cups. So some of you are bipolars, literally, going ranging from feeling really fulfilled and kind of working on your philosophical point of view on it, making sure you're still humble, and you go from there to extreme anxiety and self-doubt, whether you're worthy of it and how much it will last. That's one group. I feel like that's just what's going on with you guys. And I'm trying to find other groups in my head that can, you know, other narratives, but it's only because I feel uncomfortable with the narrative that is in front of me because it could be so agonizing. some of you, okay, and bear with me because it will be hard to explain. Some of you are living in two different worlds, right? It's the world card. On one world, in one universe, you are in love and fulfilled and happy with your intuition is right, and you are in union with your intuition in your reality. And then there's another world, a parallel universe, where everything went wrong, and you're not in union with your wish, and you're in pain. Right? Two sides, two universes. Now, when I say two universes, and this is the part where you need to bear with me, it's two states of mind that are extremely different from each other. And you are living in both of them at the same time. And it's extremely confusing and weird. And some of you are like, am I going crazy? Because reality shows one thing. Either some of you, your reality shows the really good aspect, potential, possibility. Some of you, the reality shows the really negative potential reality. Whereas the opposite lives in the other universe. Both these universe, guys, are in your head, but they're also in the 5D. I will explain further what I mean. In physics, there's theories that say that there's no past, present, future, that there's no one possibility, that there's endless, infinity amounts of universes and existences where all the possibilities are happening simultaneously. Now, most of us are completely oblivious of that because we live in one reality, the reality that we are in. Our name, where we live, the job that we do, our relationships, what we feel, etc. But if you know the movie Revolving Doors, where every door that you take, you know, every choice that you make can lead you in a completely different direction. So as the same thing, it's like life, right? Every choice that you make can lead to a different possibility, to a different option. And all the options are optional. Everything is possible, except that in your life, there's one scenario that depends on the synergy of your choices versus the people around you that made choices, and the other cycles and the other cycles, and one choice plus another choice equals your reality. Okay. But in a different universe, you made one little different choice, or someone else made one small different choice, and everything is different. The other option is existing. You're not living it, but an older you, theoretically, is living it. Now, when you are in a certain state of mind, you know, when you're in a certain frequency, in a certain level of vibration of your frequency, you don't feel it. You're only living in one state of mind, in this 3D, in this option. You don't live the past, present, and future happening simultaneously. No, you live a chronological, you know, you're in a chronological state of mind. There was the yesterday, there was today, there is tomorrow. But if we imagine that it's real, all the possibilities exist at the same time, time is an illusion, past, present, future, etc. And we also have the level of consciousness that is capable of experiencing that. Or should I say, we are on the way to that level of consciousness. We are climbing those stairs. We're not there yet, but we're not in what I described earlier, in the one lower option, where we're only in one world, conscious-wise. We're not yet completely in the full understanding of what it's like to exist on multiple universes where everything is happening at the same time. We are climbing with our consciousness, with our awareness, with our spiritual growth, with the vibration of our frequency. And when you are such a spiritual Aquarians, like many of you are watching right now, there is a state of mind, a state of an existence where you get all your wish fulfilled. Whatever it is that you're really in tuned right now, that you're conveying with the universe about, that you're feeling very strongly, that you know in your heart and in your soul that it's true. And the universe speaks to you about it, gives you signs, and you're listening and it's talking to you, and it's clear. The serendipity, the synchronicities, you have a language with the universe, and it speaks to you that you are correct. And then there's another universe existing simultaneously, the reality of how you're living your life, that it's the opposite. Reality shows you the opposite. The 9 versus the 9. This is one extreme aspect of the 9 and the positive expression, and this is the very negative expression of the 9. The Suit of Swords. And you're walking, you know, half awake, half asleep, half in the other realms, half in this realm. And you're like, am I going insane? Is what I'm feeling true or false? Because I never felt that it was so true, but reality keeps showing me the opposite. But the way the universe speaks to me in its language and its serendipity and its little signs, it shows me that I'm correct. And I'm feeling it in my heart. I'm feeling it in my energy. The universe conveys it to me. Every time I had those feelings before and that intuition before, I ended up being right. Right? I was envisioning the reality. I was being clairvoyant, and reality proved that I was right. But then now reality is not proving that I'm right, and it's very, very confusing. And either I'm wrong and reality is right, or reality is wrong is wrong and I'm right. Reality be wrong, and then you start thinking about the Matrix, how real is everything is, and then you think to yourself, well, what difference does it make? This is the life that I'm living, and is what it is. And you're like, I don't know what to do with this. You are not crazy. You are experiencing a very big leap in your levels of consciousness to a point of the eagles, like the eagle who is flying above the universe and all the infinite possibilities and is experiencing all the possibilities simultaneously. It knows, the eagle knows, you know, or hopefully you will now know, so you can breathe and be like, okay, I'm actually just aware. Okay. You know now that both of the options exist at the same time. The worlds, like, sometimes are separate and sometimes they kind of coexist. Sometimes you're above it, like looking at it and be like, whoa. Because if you're only here and things start getting confusing and you're not aware of this existence universe and you're only on this existence universe and things are starting to be like, you're like, what's going on? Wait, what is real? Is this real? What is this? It comes, it goes, I don't know. It's ethereal. Same goes if you're here, not in, it's confusing. But if you're above it and watching, you're like, oh, it's just two different organs of the same creator that is existing simultaneously. Now, your physical 3D reality matrix choices must be in accordance with the world that you are physically living at, not in the world that your conscious is also at. Because people around you are not going to understand what I'm just saying, and they'll be like, okay? This is a spiritual lesson. Challenge for growth, to examine your ability to be there in the eagle's point of view, to not go lost in in which world am I, to be there in the high point of view of like, okay, this is happening simultaneously, it's possible, it's okay, my 3D existence needs to relate to the 3D existence of the world that it lives in. My higher consciousness can go back and forth, can experience in your imagination, in your energy, in your dreams, and all that. You can live in the other world. But in the physical world, you have to align with the rules of the Matrix just to survive in society. And that is, mastering that is one of the hardest things a spiritual warrior can do, because it's very, very confusing. It's also you're deeply feeling something that you can't really live. You have to make a separation between how you really live, your daily life, in your other conscious, in your higher conscious. That is, you know, it's part of the collective subconscious, but in between all universes. So your subconscious and conscious is not just tapped into someone in a different country or in a different city. It's tapped into an existence of someone in a different universe where something else is happening between the two of you. Okay? And you have to find yourself living in both these worlds, just in different levels of consciousness, and be okay with it. And not get ballistically crazy and confused and lost. I'm not judging you if you're confused about it. It makes total sense you'll be confused about it. It is highly confusing. But you're Aquarius. You have a very high level of consciousness. You always aspire to grow spiritually, right? And this is a time of a major shift in consciousness, where energy grows and it forces us to grow with it, and it's growing pain. We are like the box is getting too small and we need to like stretch out of it, and it hurts. And when the cocoon leaves its cocoon, when the caterpillar, I'm sorry, leaves its cocoon, it's suddenly a butterfly. It's a different creature and it's a different world. And it's like, was I living in that world and this world was around me as well at the same? Whoa. So this is what you're kind of doing right now. You're semi-walking on a very thin bridge that, you know, separates between two different universes of alternative realities. And you're also the eagle flying above it, and you're also the caterpillar changing into a butterfly and like kind of tearing the cocoon from the inside. And you know there's a world out there that is beautiful and magical, but you're feeling this. But we started with the world. It means that we will end with the world. The world is a cycle. If it's in the start, it's also in the middle, and it's also at the end. It rules the entire reading. It's in the beginning of the reading, it's in the middle of the reading, it's in the end of the reading. Booyah! That was interesting. Tell me if you understood, if it was clear, or if you were like in front and be like, what's she saying? I want to make sure that I'm able of conveying the messages that I have in my head in a clear verbal way. Tell me if it resonated. Express to me how. If you have a story about like two different, you know, realities that you're existing in at the same time, and it makes you feel bipolar, and somehow this explanation has soothed you, write in the comments. Okay, I guess I'm going to bottom of the deck. Bottom of the deck. I want to show it to you. Come on. All right. The Fool, which makes total sense because the Fool is total liberation from the matrix and from the rules of nature, basically. And he's leaping to his death. If you're looking at him, it looks like he's crazy and leaping towards death, but he's actually, he knows he's going to fly. It's the caterpillar that knows that outside of the cocoon, there's a whole new world. He's looking up to the world. He's looking up to the possibilities. He's not worried. He's completely free and liberated. He lives with his agony and with his hope in the same time, and he's totally cool with it because it's one big growing process, one big lesson. It's like going to class. Yippee! You have here the sun and the moon like altering and like simultaneously living together. It's the zero. This is the first and the last card. The world is the first and the last card in the tarot deck. They represent the beginning and the end of the cycle. This is the Fool that goes through the journey of all the tarot cards to learn all their lessons in order to achieve the knowledge of the world. And they're the same. The Fool went through the entire journey of the card to get back to where he is, only now he's this now, right? It's the caterpillar, but now it's a butterfly, but same caterpillar. I am the baby that I was. Then the star, the card of hope, of true love, of divine guidance, of art, of the Pandora box. This holds within one universe and another universe. All the angels and all the demons, all the light and all the darkness. And the synergy between all these forces is what creates inner, bright, strong light that guides the way for you, because you have the knowledge of it all. And that exists in the 5D, in your high consciousness, right? In the spiritual realm of your soul and of your ethereal body, of your awareness. But because you've mastered enduring, living with the polarity, with two different realities that are like both living within yourself, inside of yourself simultaneously, and you still have balance of mind, still have balance of heart, still have balance of actions. Once you do that, your reality will start making sense as well. Think 3 of Wands. Things will flow much more easy. Funny, the Knight of Cups in this deck, you literally see a fish fly. This connects, in my head, in my experience, with having full trust, blind trust. It's impossible for a fish to fly. It's impossible to have blind trust, and yet it is possible. Blind trust. Is it really blind? Or is it a really vast ability to see everything? It's not. You know, like they say about the blinds, that all their senses and other senses are extremely heightened. So are they blind, or they hear better than us? They feel better than us? So maybe this isn't really blind as much as seeing much better. Knight of Cups, and then Knight of Wands. This is the warrior that drives the dragon. They're both coming from also different worlds. The water and the air. The fire and the earth. Here we have earth and water, right? And here we have air because it's flying in the air, but the element of fire, the wands and the trees. So again, two polarities, except that now, after we've mastered living 2 dimensions in our conscious, just separating our different levels of consciousness within one existence and feeling whole with it and accepting it, and even finding the joy in that tension instead of the misery in the tension, the joy and the freedom and the liberation. And now there's still the polarity, except that now they're working together, cooperating. And here you have all the elements in your hand, and you fish fly and birds swim. Once you will master this, dear Aquarians, you will be the kind of person that can fly a fish and swim a bird. You will break the rules of physics. You will find the bridge between all the possibilities in all the different worlds. And you'll just be a traveler in all these worlds. And nothing will be painful or joyous. It will be painful and joyous, but you won't feel miserable and you won't feel arrogant. You will just feel a constant state of joyous growth and learning and creating, because he or she who holds all the elements and can, I don't want to say control, it has a negative, you know, when they can make a bird swim and make a fish fly, that's like mastering life. Don't be tempted to try to control all the worlds to making them one. To be like, I have to choose one world to go in accordance to how I want it to be. Don't let your ego mess it up. Don't be chained to how you think the matrix should look like or how you think the matrix should break to. Be in the matrix and outside of the matrix. Be like the technician of the matrix that enjoys the video game that he created, right? But also knows that there's a different option out there. And sometimes he's in the video game, sometimes he's in the other world, and all is good. Okay. I knew this is going to be an interesting reading for Aquarius. And this is an idea that I had in my head because I'm kind of living this paradox right now. I've had this revelation recently about the situation that I'm at and what's the high reason for it. And I really wanted to help those who feel the same like I do, because it's a phase in spiritual growth that can be quite painful. So if someone else is going through it, I hope I could help. And I wondered in what reading will it rise. I didn't know. I didn't want to force it. But I'm not really surprised it came for you guys, for Aquarians. Both you and Pisces are the last zodiacs, the most spiritually involved. Now, other people who are watching this and they're like either a different sign or whatever. Oh, we're spiritual. Of course you are. It's just an essence of the zodiac sign. It's not like only people who are Aquarians and Pisces are spiritual. Of course not. I'm Taurus. Look at me. Okay? All right. So, I want to make it a bit more mundane as well, because you want to know about your daily life as well. So we had the very deep spiritual energy work kind of reading. Now let's read in between the lines. This is going to be part of your extended. And I want to clarify some interesting characters here. I want to know the story of the Nine of Cups versus the Nine of Swords. Who is making you feel bipolar? Who is sometimes completely with you and sometimes completely without you? Who has a little bit of a devilish kind of act to them? And how is it going to evolve throughout April? Will we reach balance? This says good chance that yeah, but I just want to go into it. So clarify, please. Nine of Cups, Nine of Swords. Clarify the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Swords. Okay. Temperance in reverse. Especially when it fell right on the Nine of Cups. And it fell next to the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups, in its good aspect, it's meditating, patient, thinking. But when it comes with temperance reversed, temperance is patience, is healing. But when it's reversed, it goes against you and it's strengthened next to the Four of Cups, which gets more of the essence of its doubts and fears. So here I would be like, okay, someone is meditating, thinking from a balanced place, taking their time, not rushing, making sure that the elements, that the recipe is proper. Right? All the ingredients are put well and they're waiting for the cake to be baked. Because sometimes many times patience is a virtue. But here, and I asked to clarify the issue, right? Stagnation. Lack of ability to flow. Doubts, fears. Someone who can be this for you, or maybe it's you that can be that for someone else, is causing you this. Or maybe you are causing them this. You are causing them this. So the advice here, if it's up to you, don't overthink things. Remember, you're in two, universes. Everything is possible. You've done enough thinking. You've done enough analysis paralysis. Go and live. Okay? Fly with your fish. Dive with your bird. This upright is making the impossible possible. It's the alchemist. This upside down is like missing the opportunity, taking all the right ingredients and making the wrong recipe and messing it up because you have fears and stagnation. Okay? And if it's the other person that is doing that to you, you can't control it, right? Then you're the one who needs to live, who is forced to live in two different universes where you know the truth and essence of something, but you can't control it. So you have to accept it. So if you are being strained, don't wait. Don't be temperance upside down. Go fly, go dive. Go out on your journey of fulfillment and discovery. Just live in both these worlds. Feel what you feel. Know what you know. But don't let the other person affect you in stagnation. Because then your energies will, simultaneously force the other person's energy to be in stagnation. Will be like a circle of stagnation. So break that circle. Break that wheel. Like Daenerys Targaryen said from Game of Thrones. He's like, I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel. I love that. She flies dragons. Yeah. Break the wheel. Be out of that wheel of stagnation. Don't be dependent on it. Live there because it's just what you feel, but also live in the other realms of your beautiful reality. Just have fun. This is a lot of fun, a lot of life and energy and creation and faith and new discoveries. This is exciting, which is what you have coming to you in the month of April. All right, let's clarify the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, the flying fish and the diving bird. I love this. I love this reading. Okay, please clarify the two knights here. Some of you have two guys coming at you simultaneously, or two girls. You need to make a choice. Make a choice from your inner truth of who you are, what kind of journey you want to have in your life, who will most resonate with the journey that you believe in, with the path of your heart, of your creativity, of your flow, of your visions. Don't make decisions from the mind because it will be the wrong one. Make decisions from the heart and from the passion. This is a repetitive thing that I'm saying to all zodiacs right now because it's just the energy. Universe is expecting more out of us. We're not in the times where we, are in relationships or in jobs out of fear or out of compromising. It's just not the state of mind of the collective consciousness. It's just not anymore. We're growing and we're expected to grow with it. There we go. King of Cups. From two, one will win. One will overcome the other knight and become a king in your life, or will become a queen in your life. You're in your power stance. The one that comes from the heart, from the cups, the one that brings you, that fills up your cup with joy and faith and spirituality and deep friendship, deep feeling, sense of comfort, not the compromising comfort, but sense of ease. When you're with either a good friend or someone that you feel really comfortable with, where you can comfortably be in silence or yatter constantly, but you feel comfortable in all options with them. They just make you feel at home with their presence. Okay. All right. Is there anything else? Let's have an outcome card. And then I will choose a rune for you for the month of April. I'll explain. First, let's have an outcome card for the month of April for Aquarians. Ace of Wands that fell right on the Temperance in reversed, the Nine of Cups, and the World. A very strong new beginning. Very fiery, very passionate. That comes in the narrative of the World and of the Nine of Cups. But you have to first prove to the universe that you can live the tension of the paradox, find the joy and the growth in it, and expand your frequency thanks to it, with no expectations. This needs to be, I'm happy now, I'm happy here. I'm not faking it in order to, because no. You need to basically not believe anything that I just said, and you need to live your life. This can be a wish fulfilled when it comes to work or art. It could be a wish fulfilled when it comes to love. This really, really, really makes sense with the narrative, with the story of how twin flames work. But either way, whether it be love, whether it be work, school, any sort of endeavor, you will have a grand new opportunity for it to happen right. A new start that isn't really a start. It's a start that comes thanks to and after an amazing big cycle that you went through. The Alchemist from the book of Paulo Coelho. He went through an entire journey just to return and discover that his treasure was right under his nose. Right? You have to go through the journey to go back to the same place, but you are never really the same. You're completely different. If you were the fool, now you are the world. Same character. And he here holds the wand. And he went through the journey to earn this, and then the universe gave it back to him. It's like, look. So if it's like the way it fell, oh, I love the visualization of this. Right? It was like this. So you were ready and willing to take the journey, to take the leap of faith and spirit and in yourself. You went through all this. You made your fish fly. You made your bird dive. You lived the paradox. And now the universe is like, this is your wand. You have earned it. Awesome. Booyah, Aquarius. Yeah, good job. So many spiritual warriors in my readings. I love spiritual warriors. You guys are so inspiring. People who, you know, they rather be the warrior in the garden than the gardener at war. But they are like a warrior in a garden, but they don't fight the plants. They like make the plants grow. And if someone forces them, then they are badass. But they're not seeking to be a badass. They're seeking for the peace. And that's the path that you walk. You know, you learn how to be a warrior, but you also learn balance and love and acceptance and patience. And that's martial arts. I do martial arts. Oh, speaking of, I'm wearing a t-shirt of my karate, my Seido karate, where I train. And it resonates with all of that because it's very spiritual. Martial arts are very spiritual. It's not about the violence and the hurting. It's about the inner growth and not controlling the other. It's about controlling the self. And this is your journey of controlling not just the self and the 3D existence, not just your body, mind, and heart. It's also your spirit and how you walk between all the universes. It's a completely different level, you know. Whack. All right, this is like, I can go on forever with this reading, seriously, but I won't, because we're already on 49 minutes. So what I'm going to do, this is one of my many sacks of runes. I have several packs. I made this years ago. This looks like M, but it's actually, because it's comfortable because my name is Marquis, so M, but it also is the rune He was, the rune of the horse, and of the change, and of the spiritual growth. It's the rune of the spiritual warrior, if I may. I'm having too much fun in this reading. It started so confusing, and now there's such ease. I hope you guys are feeling the same. I hope I helped you feel better. Alright, so runes are Celtic, they are Nordic, they are pagan, they are a very ancient divination tool, way more ancient than the tarot or anything else known, actually. They are letters that were used by the Druids. The Druids were the priests of the Celtics, you know, the wise, the smart, the leaders, spiritual leaders, who knew how to read and write. So those were letters and symbols and sigils, and they were carved on either stones or wood, because back then there wasn't paper and pens. So their shapes are like sharp lines. Yeah, so let's focus on asking for a rune for Aquarians for the month of April. All right. Can't wait to see what will come up for you guys. All of the past 20-30 minutes was part of the extended reading, by the way. Because at one point I'll start separating them. So you'll know where to go if you want this part or that part or both. Okay. April for Aquarius. So many things want to come out. Okay. Jera, written Jera, J-E-R-A, but it's pronounced Jera, as if H-E-R-A. The runes of the seasons, of the ever-changing cycles, life and death, growth, creation and destruction. But this speaks of a very calm, good cycle process, that wheel that we grow through. Okay, it's that journey that the Fool goes through. So Jera, I would say, could either be you as the caterpillar out of the cocoon into a butterfly, but Jera can also be the journey that you're walking on. And it tells you, it speaks about balance between patience and movement, between up and down, between right and left, between knowing and unknowing, and all that jazz that we just spoke about. Finding that balance within one. Finding how, this is the one, right? This is your universe, this is your consciousness, and these are the different worlds, the polarities. They are the same because they're the same shape, but they're also not the same. They're separated and they're like in different directions, and it's the same, but it's not the same. Like the world that I've discussed. Find the joy in the paradox. Understand it's part of your growth. And embrace it. I never know if you can see quite clear. It also speaks of divine timing. Things have to happen in their own pace. So even if you're feeling ready and knowing, the universe might not be ready and has other things to take care of. And you have to be respectful for the wide process that you are a part of. You're not always in control. You can only control yourself and how you view the paradox. But you can't control the existence of the paradox. Because in your mind it's a paradox, the fact that two different things are happening simultaneously in two different universes, because you're at a certain level of state of mind. Because from the 2nd floor, you can't see what someone else that is in the 20th floor can see. Einstein said, you can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that has created it. So if you're living a paradox from your own state of mind, it's a paradox, it's a nightmare. But from a higher state of mind of the eagle flying above and then diving into the waters and the fish swimming and then starting to fly suddenly, right? Where everything is possible and everything happens at the same time, even if it's different, and past is future, etc. And there are no boundaries. From that state of mind, that makes total sense. So just be patient with yourself and know that, okay, you're working on your state of on your consciousness, on raising the vibration of the frequency of your consciousness. And it's a process, and be patient with yourself. Know when to press on the gas and know when to press on the brakes. Feel it. Allow yourself to just feel it. Okay? Listen to the elements. Listen to what the world is doing and accept. I love you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for being here, for subscribing, for watching me for 55 minutes. I'm very grateful for that. I'm not taking that for granted. Trust me. And I understand the frustration of living the paradox. We are only human, and it's hard for us to understand. It's like a worm. She lives in 2 dimensions. She doesn't understand up and down in space. She's like right, left, forward, backward. Try to speak to a worm about the 3D. It's like, space, So it's like us trying to figure out the 4th D and the 5th D. Growing pains, we'll get there. Yeah, let me know if it resonated, if it makes sense, if it managed to ease you. I will see you again in the month of May. And keep going, I'm forgetting something. No, we're good. Bye.